Maidstone fans, pay close attention as the club have just announced a very, very big statement indeed. Maidstone United have put out their released list ahead of the 2023-24 campaign. That's right, not the retained list, the released list. So, of course, keeping their cards close to their chest for now as who will actually be staying at the club. I'm sure many things are still under negotiation. Maidstone currently have 12 players who are still potentially able to be contracted to the club ahead of next season. However, there is a very, very significant portion of the squad, almost 15 players who have confirmed left the club. So let's get into them. We'll start off with the loans. The loans, of course, that have ended. We're looking at, of course, some very influential players at times this season, Ryan Galvin being one of them. But Mamadou Job has also left on his loan. Kevin Burko, Dan Barden, Ryan Viggers and Johan Zuma have all left. Some, of course, people will be happier about than others. But, some very good key players at times for Maidstone this season. Galvin, Burko, Job, Barden, the most important of those four, I would say. But, of course, it'd be nice to see a good couple of those coming back for next season. I think Dan Barden, someone we'll get onto, of course. That'll make a bit more sense considering the rest of the players I'm going to read out in a moment. I'd like to see him back next season. Kevin Burko, I think, could be fantastic. Of course, we've lost Jerome Binnon-Williams. I'd like to see him in the south. Ryan Galvin as well is another great option. And Mamadou Job as well, a great option as well, backing up like Sam Bone, maybe George Fowler or Reece Greenwich, if they were to stay as well. But looking at the actual players who were contracted to the club and have not had their contract renewed, we're going to start off with the ones we know about. Jerome Binnon-Williams, Juan Luque, Regan Booty. Three key influential players for Maidstone's title win 2 seasons ago now. But there are some more players joining them. So it is going to be Sean Waters is going to be leaving the club. Someone who, of course, has not featured a great deal. Someone I thought would probably be going, but there was always that option to him, for him, I suppose, to stay as rotation. Jack Cooley, one of Maidstone's summer signings, someone who has left the club already after just 1 year of not really featuring in the side. Haven't seen him, I believe, since Yeovil away. And he had a pretty good game in that one, to be fair. Mark Marshall, someone who I think was always going to be a short-term option, someone who's just come in as a placeholder for the rest of the season. A very much aging player now on the wing, someone who again didn't feature all that much since joining a couple months back. We have also lost Henry Woods, someone who I think there could have been potential for next season. I think maybe he's just a bench player or a rotational player. You never know. The South is obviously, I think, somewhere that's a bit easy to find your feet in a team. Obviously suffered with a lot of injuries this season as well. Nasty gash to his face in training, broken hand in training, plenty of other injuries along the way. So yeah, not a great season for him, but unfortunately we have let him go too. And then a couple of bigger ones. So Yusuf Mersin, again, that will be big news to many people. Some will be happy with that. Tom Hadler, other big player for many fans as well. Someone who has contributed a lot in recent seasons, of course. Big player for us last year. So seeing Tom go, of course, will upset a few. That is very likely going to mean we're going to get a new goalkeeper in at some point. Dom Odesanya has gone. Dom Adesanya, for me, is someone we probably should have kept. I think he's got a lot to offer to this team in the South next season. James Alabi, another summer signing who will be on his way out of the exit door, not really made the impact necessary to retain his place in the squad. So that's 6 loanees gone. That is, I believe, 11 contracted players gone. So who is left? Well, we've got 12 players left. 13 if you want to include Josh Arnold in his one appearance against Boreham Wood, but we're going to leave him out for now. So, the guaranteed stay-in for next season, Sol Angel Smith, Sam Bone. That's it. We've got 10 more players though. George Fowler, of course, Mason's player of the season. Sam Corn, Rory Deacon, Bivesh Gurung, Reece Greenwich, Gavin Hoyt, Harley Earl, Rafe Brown, Perry Angelo, and Nathan Jeke. So there's 10 players there whose future has not yet been announced. I'm assuming these players are all in negotiation with the club in some form. I imagine Fowler, Corn, Greenwich, Deacon, all very much likely to stay. Gavin Hoyt as well seems going to be staying, against what I thought may have been coming up for Gavin. I thought he was probably the next out the door, and I said that in a recent video, I'm pretty sure, simply because of the Elokobi way, the Elokobi philosophy. But he's looking for these younger players. He's looking to kind of get rid of those injured players, and Gavin unfortunately comes into both of those categories in the past year. But I think he's got a lot to offer. I really like Gavin. Fantastic person. I've spoken to him a good couple of times off the pitch as well. Obviously I wouldn't be on the field, but you know what I mean. One-to-one sort of thing. And he's a really, really nice guy. So I'll be happy to have him stay for next season. Good leader, knows the National South well as well. And, it was George Elokobi's number 2 for a significant period of George's time at the club. So I think he's got a lot to contribute to for next season. But yeah, I mean, the massive takeaways from this really for me are that none of the loanees are confirmed to be signing straight away from their loan. I think we may see the odd 1 or 2 coming back. It may be Dan Barden and Burko. I think Dan Barden's level is maybe a bit higher. Burko potentially 2. I think Galvin's far too good. I think Job has got a higher ceiling than Maidstone in the south too. I think Dom Adesanya is a big one to lose. I think potentially Henry Woods, maybe not. I think Tom Hadler as well. There are 3 players there who obviously for different reasons are probably quite big losses. I think, Hadler, just for the adoration many fans had for him. Dom Adesanya, just for the potential impact he could have directly on the squad next season. And Henry Woods, as sort of an untapped potential player, I'm not sure if he would have made much impact, to be fair, but again, you never really know. You've got players like Jack Cooley, James Alabi, both had plenty of chances throughout the season, didn't really see enough from them at times. Henry Woods, 4 games this season, probably about 200 minutes max combined. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably not worth the risk keeping players like that on. But, I think the rumour has it we paid a fee for him. That's what many fans have said down the club in the last year. And it's a shame to see someone we may have potentially spent money on leaving in this manner after a season that's gone like that. But, yeah, I mean, looking at the players we're looking at potentially retaining, Fowler, great addition. Corn, great addition. Greenwich, fantastic addition. Deacon, I think is a good addition. Some people may disagree. Rafe Brown, I think is a good addition if he can stay fit. Jeke, Perry, both good additions. I think Gavin Hoyt, great addition. And Bhavesh Gurung, I'm torn on. I think Bhavesh could play a role next season. I think he's not ready for that step up for constant first team football. I know, he's been in and out of the side most of this season. He's been on loan as well to Tunbridge. But for me, I think he's, at the moment, a bench player. I think he's an option off the bench if someone gets injured or, needs resting, something like that. I think we're going to need a much more significant anchorman. If you've watched my suggested midfield signings video from a week or 2 ago now, you'll see that I suggested someone like Taylor Maloney at Welling, an unbelievable player. In my opinion, someone I think we'd do really, really well to sign. That's why I'm not too confident we'll get him in. But if we could replace Regan Booty with someone like Taylor Maloney, I'd be well happy with that. I'd be very, very happy with that. But you never know. We may move Sam Bone up into a more anchorman position. We've seen that happen a few times this season. So, yeah, I mean, really big news. Really, really big news. Very sad to be losing Dom. I'm sure many fans will be sad to be losing Tom Hadler as well. But there'll be players in there that people are happy to see go. I won't name those out of respect, but, unfortunately, many of these players will understand why they're leaving. The impact they had this season has not really been good enough from many of them. And at the end of the day, when you have a season as bad as ours, it's not really uncommon to see a dozen players leave, and that is what's happened here. So thank you all so much for tuning into this video, this quick update video, and my thoughts on who we're looking at keeping and that sort of thing, who's going and why they may be going, of course. So yeah, thank you so much all for watching. Do subscribe to the channel if you're not already. There's going to be some massive news coming up, according to Oliver Ash, in terms of player announcements and season ticket announcements and kit announcements and all that sort of thing. So do stay tuned on the channel for that. Get it all in your news box, your subscription box, your feed by subscribing to the channel. Do leave a like down on this video as well if you did enjoy this sort of update video, and of course leave your comments and your thoughts on this released list down below. So thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.